I watched the steam rise from my coffee mug. The house was quiet, but only on the outside. Inside, a storm raged. My husband, Eric, was pacing, tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. And I knew, today, something had to change. Forever. If you've ever been stuck in a toxic relationship or doubted your own worth, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is about reclaiming power and rewriting your life one bold decision at a time. The morning sunlight spilt through the kitchen window, golden and gentle. It should have felt warm, safe. Instead, it spotlighted a marriage unraveling at the seams. Eric paced across the kitchen floor, the boards beneath him groaning as if echoing my dread. Last night's fight still clung to the air. Marie, his sister, had called again. Another emergency. Another shopping spree masked as desperation. And this time, she wanted my credit card. I refused. Eric exploded. Now, this morning, he glared at me as if I were the villain. Eric, I said softly, breaking the silence. We need to talk about this. Rationally. He stopped pacing and turned, red-faced eyes burning. She's my sister, Lena. You're selfish. It's family. That word, twisted in his mouth. I tried to stay calm. No, this isn't helping her, and it's destroying us. He didn't want to hear it. I saw it in his eyes. And then, before I could finish my sentence, he grabbed his mug hot, full, and hurled it at my face. Time slowed. The coffee splashed across my cheek, my neck, my blouse. My skin burned. My heart shattered. The mug hit the floor, bursting into pieces. Like us. Eric's voice thundered. You better give her your damn credit card or get the hell out. I didn't answer. I couldn't. He stormed out. The house shook. Photos rattled. I just sat there, coffee dripped from the table, like blood from a wound. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't my home anymore. It was a battlefield. Painting the walls together. Laughing. Our first burnt Thanksgiving turkey. All the mornings we sat here, dreaming now, just shouting. Silence, cold. I touched my cheek. The sting was nothing compared to the ache in my chest. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I couldn't stay. In the bathroom mirror, I saw a bruise forming, but also I saw a woman staring back who looked tired but unbroken. I gently pressed my fingertips to the tender skin, then whispered aloud, "This ends now." I went to the bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed, the same one Eric and I had shared for 6 years. Hand pulled out my phone with shaking hands. I stared at the contact list for a full minute, hesitating. My finger hovered over Clara's name, that one friend who had always been there for me, even when I pushed her away. I tapped Dot. She picked up instantly. Lena, just hearing her voice, the worry, the warmth I broke. My breath hitched, and words tumbled out between sobs. I told her everything. The screaming, the coffee, the look in Eric's eyes that I would never forget. She didn't interrupt. Not once. "I'll come get you," she said firmly. "Just tell me where." By that night, I was wrapped in a blanket on Clara's couch, holding a cup of tea and listening to her 7-year-old daughter tell me about her school play. And for the first time in years, I felt something like peace. The next morning, Clara handed me a phone number on a post-it. Sarah, divorce attorney. She helped my cousin get out of a nightmare. You'll like her. Sarah was everything Clara promised. Sharp, compassionate, no nonsense. After I told her what happened, she said, "We'll get you out, and we'll do it smart." She helped me freeze our accounts, back up evidence, and file for divorce. Each step, each terrifying, empowering step was like walking out of a prison cell I hadn't known I was in. Still, freedom didn't mean I wasn't lost. I woke up one morning wondering, who am I if I'm not Eric's wife? What do I do now? That's when Clara mentioned her cousin Megan, the one who ran a used bookstore downtown. She needs help. It's nothing fancy, but I thought of you. I hadn't realized how much I missed books. The smell of pages, the way stories could make you feel seen. The job offer felt like oxygen. Within a week, I was shelving novels and recommending poetry collections. And with every book I touched, it felt like I was reclaiming pieces of myself. At night, I started writing again. Not for anyone else, just for me. There were shaky words at first, but they were honest, and they were mine. Somewhere between the filing cabinet full of legal forms and the back room of the bookstore, I found something unexpected. Me in the bathroom mirror, I saw a bruise forming. But also, I saw a woman ready to stop being afraid. I called the only person I trusted, Clara, my college best friend, the one I'd pushed away. When she picked up, her voice cracked with concern. I broke down, told her everything. "I'll come get you," she said without hesitation. And that night, I slept in her guest room. Safe, her kids welcomed me like family. Her husband handed me coffee like it was a lifeline. And for the first time in years, felt seen. Clara knew a lawyer, a woman named Sarah, fierce, smart, ready to fight. And fight we did. We gathered documents, froze joint accounts, filed for divorce. Each step was terrifying but empowering. Then came the job offer. Clara's cousin ran a cozy little bookstore. Paper, ink, quiet peace, a world I'd forgotten I loved. And just like that, I was working again, around stories, around hope, and slowly I began to write. Then came the texts. Eric was furious, demanding to know where I was, promising to come find me, and then Marie was with him. They pulled into Clara's driveway like they owned the place. Confident, entitled, inside. I stood in the living room. My hands trembled, but I planted my feet. I was ready. The doorbell rang. Clara opened the door. Her voice, cool and steady. "Eric, Marie." Eric didn't waste time with greetings. "Where is she?" he barked. Clara stepped aside. "Come in, but keep it civil." Footsteps echoed down the hall. Eric burst in first. His eyes locked onto mine. Rage, confusion, control slipping. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he spat. I stood tall. "It's over, Eric." His face contorted. "You don't get to decide that." A new voice cut in, calm, precise. "Actually," it said, "she does." We turned. Mr. Thatcher, my lawyer, hands in his pockets, but his presence filled the room. "You will address all legal matters through me," he said, stepping forward. Eric blinked, caught off guard. Marie's mouth opened, then closed. I looked at Eric. "You threw hot coffee at me. You made your choice. Now I've made mine." His lips curled. "You can't do this. You're my wife." "No," I said. "Not anymore. You think you'll get away with this." "I'm not getting away with anything, Eric," I replied. "I'm surviving. I'm healing." "You'll regret this," he hissed. Mr. Thatcher stepped between us. "Any further contact will be considered harassment. We're done here." Eric looked like he wanted to scream, but instead he turned, stormed out. Marie glared, then followed. The door slammed. I exhaled, shoulders dropping. Clara rushed to my side. "You did it," she whispered. And for the first time in years, I felt safe. Then came the texts. Eric was furious, demanding to know where I was, promising to come find me, and then Marie was with him. They pulled into Clara's driveway, like royalty, demanding, sneering. I stood in the living room, waiting. Eric burst through the door, rage in his eyes. But I didn't flinch. "It's over," I said. "You don't get to decide that," he shouted. "Actually," said the voice behind me, "she does." Mr. Thatcher, my lawyer calm, collected, unshakable. You will address all matters through me from now on, he said. Eric looked stunned. Marie was speechless, and I looked my husband in the eye and said, You threw coffee at me, Eric. You chose violence. Now I'm choosing peace. They stormed out, furious, defeated, and me. I collapsed into Clara's arms. Finally free, weeks passed. I found a small apartment, an old brick walk-up with chipped windows and squeaky floors. But it was mine. Each imperfection felt like a scar, and I embraced it. I filled the space with thrifted furniture, mismatched cushions, and soft golden lamps. I bought a rug in the exact shade of sunlight I remembered missing most. On the windowsill, I placed a single potted plant. I named her Grace. At night, I wrote my story, my voice, my truth. Sometimes it came out in poetry. Other times, letters I never intended to send. But every word was a step toward healing. The bookstore became my sanctuary. Surrounded by stories, I began to feel like I was part of one again. Megan would bring me tea without asking, and customers started recognizing me by name. The kids Clara's kids visited often. They'd crawl into my lap with picture books, tug at my hand for puzzles. They called me Auntie L, and it stuck. Yoga, books, laughter, healing. These were my rituals now. One rainy Sunday, I passed by a cafe Eric used to hate, said the chairs were too small and the people too bohemian. I went in, ordered a cappuccino, and stayed for hours. Another time, I walked into a boutique and bought a sky blue dress. No one told me to put it back. No one said it was impractical. And every morning, I brewed coffee. Just for me, one morning, I sat at my desk and typed Chapter 1, The Awakening. The screen glowed in the soft dawn light. I reached for my mug, ceramic, handmade, imperfect hand, raised it slightly, toasting no one in particular. To survival, to rediscovery, to rewriting the ending. Because this story, it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about rebirth. Weeks passed. I found a small apartment, simple mine. I filled it with thrifted furniture and new memories. Asterisk at night, I wrote my story, my voice, my truth. The bookstore became my sanctuary. The kids became my joy, yoga, books, laughter, healing. And every morning I brewed coffee, just for me. One morning I sat at my desk, typed Chapter 1, The Awakening, and smiled. Because this story, it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about rebirth. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that you deserve peace, respect, and freedom, smash that like button. Subscribe for more real, powerful stories. And tell us in the comments what moment helped you reclaim your life. Because you're not alone, and you're stronger than you think.